Greetings, people of the world! Matthew back with you here at Novora Autism for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. It is day 45 of 75 for EDSS here in the Realm Reborn, and as you may have noticed, during the time between recordings, I had the opportunity to update my gear a bit because I had been needing to get it upgraded for quite some time, so I pretty much emptied my bank account in order to get myself an enhanced spear, helmet, body armor, gauntlets, and leggings. I did not quite have enough for greaves or for a new belt. However, that will come in due time. Besides, I wasn't able to have enough stuff, or there wasn't enough stuff where I was going to buy this enhanced gear where it would have been better for me. So I basically am taking what I could get. So with that in mind, it is now time for us to find out what Ursendel meant in the continuation of this murder mystery that we're in the middle of. So let's go speak to him again and take on his level 28 challenge entitled Skeletons in Her Closet. Ursendel has a confession to make regarding the mysterious murders. So let's hear what he has to say, because obviously he knows something we don't. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of our oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Dalton Cool. During that time I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and she possessed a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may very well have been a kind of fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. And as luck would have it, it's starting to rain. Yeah, how apropos is it that we're learning more about this murder mystery and suddenly, poof, out of nowhere, it starts raining. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her to regain that which she had lost. So she began the rites of rejuvenation. And so, these rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to a bed, and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was. But when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was after that I left Haukke Manor, my home on Nye, for half a century. So obviously you are very old. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavoured to put the matter behind me. Yet I had resolved never to speak of my experience, until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Haukke Manor on the western edge of the central shroud. Go now. Go and do what must be done. So yes, we are left with the unenviable task of having to slay his master. So we have to go to Haukke Manor. So the best way for me to do that would be for me to go to an Aethernet shard. And I do believe the one is closest is at Lancer's Guild, which ironically enough is where the level 30 Lancer's Guild challenge will take place, but as I mentioned in the previous episode, I want to gain a little more experience first. So, let's go take the Aethernet shard, and I will meet you guys back over in the Central Shroud in a moment, so be right back. Okay, so, now standing here in the middle of the rain next to Sherwood Ingerson, we have to now follow the icon that's pointing us to the west. So, let's hop on my chocobo and take him for a ride. And this will be a bit of a ride because I've actually had to make this trek before, because this way, going west, was actually the way I needed to go in order to complete one of my hunting logs. So I am no stranger to the direction in which we are going. So we have to go across a couple of bridges in order to get to where we go. Hey, Blue Elvis! Yeah, Who knew there was a guy named Blue Elvis out there? Probably inspired by the blue suede shoes that Elvis wore. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I did it yesterday, I did it again today. So the way we want to go up is up through the Matron's Lethe, and take the big tree going towards the big platform over here. We have made this trek before in some of our previous quests, so it's not as if we haven't been here previously. And, where's my disembark? There we go. Yeah, there are some quests over here that we can take, but I'm going to pass on those for now. Because the main priority is to go to the west, and I have to admit, with the rain falling, appropriately enough, it's dark in the skies somewhat that I cannot properly see where I might necessarily need to go. But I do know now which direction we need to be going, because I can see the path. Yeah, if you get lost, use a path. That cannot be stressed enough. If you are unable to find where exactly you're going, use a path. So, if all goes well, should take this path right here on the bridge. Yeah, as you may have noticed, we're starting to get into level 31 opponents, and yeah, some of them are feral, including the variants of the Marlborough. Oh, and the Floating Eye as well. Well, we are here now at the gates of Haukke Manor, so let's start pounding this Floating Eye, because it will count towards my hunting log, whichever one it may be. Don't know which one it is though, but I can... ow! Yeah, that's really annoying. Alright, so let's take a look and see which one it was. Okay, it is for my Lancer's log. And I've already actually killed one before, so might as well kill two more since we are here in the midst of the driving rain. Yeah, attack the stupid eye. Attack it! Kill it! Destroy it! Leave nothing to chance. Get rid of these creepy, ugly eyes in this driving rain, yeah. How appropriate that we're on the trail of a murder mystery, and it just so happens to be raining. All we're missing is the thunder. You couldn't have thrown in the thunder, could you? You had to leave that little detail out. Nonetheless, this is almost over, and we can move on. Well, not until his friend comes in to get a piece of me. So, I shall get rid of you too. And that completes part 31 of my Lancer's hunting log, bringing me ever closer to experience level 33. And before long, it'll get me up towards closer to 34, which is where I want to be, for a very particular important challenge. So yes, here is the Manor Gates for Haukke Manor. So, gonna interact with it, and then as a result, that will now allow me to get access to Haukke Manor via the Duty Finder. So, I'm going to take a timeout while I am having the opportunity to get some people joining me for the journey into Haukke Manor, so be back in a moment once we are ready to go inside. Alright, we have now got a party to go into Haukke Manor. So, with that, it is now time for us to help Ursendel alleviate his fears and concerns. And so it's going to take the combined strength of myself and 3 other gamers chosen at random, perhaps through the duty roulette, or perhaps they also of their own volition wanted to come here, but yeah, this is definitely a haunted house, to say the least. So get ready to be scared like crazy as we journey inside Haukke Manor. And if you can hear it, the organ is definitely playing, as myself and 3 other gamers stand at the steps, ready to embark on this scary journey. So, we are underway. So for this place, it is basically like any other challenge for the most part. It is 2 mini bosses and then the main boss. So it is up to us to go up to the 3 different sections here. And so I'll say hello to everyone else as well. Of course, it would help if I actually highlighted the term party as well. So you have to start here on the ground floor. So we're gonna have our tank lead us out, Sergeant Evibe, or is it Evibe, or... I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but make sure you stay away from the dark mist, because that can set you back. That move can set you back a bit, because it is a status inflictor. So be careful about that one. And then you'll see a lot of horror movie themed enemies. And yeah, stay clear of that Manor Maidservant. If the tank does not use an ability that stuns the opponent in time, then make sure you stay clear of that. And yeah, you're gonna see enemies, well, bats of course, for starters, since we are in a haunted house, and also carpet stain, which looks like a giant slug. Nonetheless, we can beat these things without much difficulty, I would expect. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the other guys are attacking the bat first, and I got my hands full of the stain. Alright, that one's dead. Yeah, and make sure you keep an eye out for tiny keys, because there are a lot of locked doors here in Haukke Manor, and you are going to need said tiny keys in order to advance. And if someone does have the hotbar that allows them to highlight the order that the enemy should be defeated, make sure you keep that in mind. Because you might not necessarily attack the same thing that everyone else is attacking, and if you want to switch over, sometimes your own character will get so locked into completing a battle with the enemy it was already fighting beforehand that it could give you a situation where you are splitting up your strength. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, quite honestly. I mean, that's usually how I approach battles, that if you can take some of the pressure off of your allies by killing an enemy that they're not killing, then don't be afraid to do that. But if they encourage you to fight the same thing that they're fighting, then do it. Because the last thing you want is a whole bunch of people pissed off at you. Yeah, because I've noticed that with my first avatar that it's by trying to attack an opponent, but it's not always the first thing that they're wanting to attack, then it can give you a bit of a bad reputation. Alright, where's our tank telling us what to attack first? Yes, guide us, so Sergeant. We are ready to follow your orders at a moment's notice. Yeah, typically you'll always automatically by default target the enemy that's closest to you. So don't be surprised if you have to make it a point to change sometimes what you're fighting. But these bats aren't all that much of a threat. They will sometimes siphon energy off of you to fuel themselves, but it's not enough to really make that much of an impact. You should, for the most part, be fine. And sorry if my voice goes a little bit, but I took time during the timeout to get in a snack. Just before the challenge began, because I wanted to make sure that I at least had a full stomach and wasn't having a growling tummy. But maidservants, yeah, except for, aside from the dark mist, they're not all that bad. And of course, making sure you have tiny keys to open the locked doors, because as I mentioned before, there are a lot of them. And now we're starting to see Demon Mold, which are poisonous mushrooms. And you may have noticed that if someone opens the treasure chest and it's not equipment, whoever gets the contents is always at random, I've noticed, because you may open a treasure chest, but you may not be the person who gets the item that is within said treasure chests. I've noticed that quite a bit. And it's actually a bit of a bad time for the tank to go AWOL, as it were, because he is a sergeant. But yeah, let's see how long he keeps us waiting. So yeah, in the meantime, I've actually had situations before. Okay, yeah, he actually wasn't away from us for that long. So yeah, I've actually had situations before where the tank will take a timeout, as it were, and take care of something. You're not completely lost if you end up in a situation where you're fighting without your tank, because if you still have a healer, then you're okay. If your healer's still active, if you haven't lost your healer, you're fine, because if you lose your tank, it's not all fatal. If you can still fight okay if you have a healer. If you don't have a healer, then it's best for you to hold back before continuing on your advance. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, the situation where you may not necessarily automatically target what everyone else is targeting. Case in point there. For some reason, even though the mushroom was being targeted by everyone else, it wasn't automatically being targeted by me. So let's clip these bats of their wings. Yeah, these bats aren't going to make it back to Bruce Wayne at all, unfortunately. Yeah, I was thinking about Batman for a while, not that long ago, because it's been a while since I've seen a Batman movie, because I do have Batman Begins in my video library, in my movie library, but I haven't watched it in quite a few years. And I've only seen The Dark Knight once in its entirety, and I've never seen The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, when I saw The Dark Knight, it was like, damn, am I watching a Batman movie, or am I watching like 300 or something? Because yeah, that was like an action movie that was all about death and not much else. So, are we going after... Oh, I'm no longer poisoned, but where is... Yeah, come on, tank. You said you were going to BRB, well... Make sure you're... Ah, crap. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we've just had our tank DC on us. Well, that sucks. Okay, so looks like we're gonna have to take a timeout until we can either replace the tank or we can get continue on without him. So yeah, and this is not uncommon. In the last few days I've noticed quite a few people have DC'd during quests. So yeah, sadly this is not surprising. I'll take a shot. In fact, I think we'll both be wanting to take a shot here at the maidservant. Oh, really? Come on. Yeah, for some reason, wasn't quite understanding what's going on. Yeah, if you're in a situation where you're not actually targeting an opponent, odds are that you're still stuck on select on your icon. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait a while until we can get a new tank. So be back when we actually do get one. So yeah, fun fact. When the tank DC'd, someone else quit. So yeah, we have two brand new people that are joining us here as we take on boss number 1 here in Haukke Manor. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, our tank DCs, then our other DPS quit, and so the two of us, myself and Dehala, were waiting for a while. Yeah, it's been happening a lot in the last few days, including to myself, that we've been having DC issues. I think that Square Enix needs to look into this. Yeah, I had a DC on early Sunday morning, doing a run of a hard mode dungeon with my first avatar, because I was trying to get some special items. But yeah, thankfully we now have a full party of 4 again, which means that all is well with the world. At least we hope so. So yeah, this first boss isn't anything too threatening. In fact, to be honest, I'm quite shocked that even though we're all at least 2 levels higher than our new tank, the tank actually has less max HP than I do, which is quite surprising because I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, where the tank in a quest actually has less HP than the DPSs. That is a first for me. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that, but well, you're seeing it here first if that has never happened to you before. Get out of the way of the dark mist. Our tank not afraid to take a hit. So yeah, that'll cause terror, which will pretty much stun you. Yeah, it's basically like stun, but it's for a longer duration than stun itself, because stun only lasts for like 2 or 3 seconds, but terror will last for more like 10 seconds. So with that first boss now gone, we're gonna play greed on this because... Oh, alright, I got it. So yeah, now that we have the green key that boss was holding, we want to go over and open this door over here, the Ivy door. And in so doing, we can now drop over into the basement. We want to go over here. So yeah, there's where our new set of enemies are. Let's draw them in and start round 2. Here in Haukke Manor as we go into the basement. Yeah, you figure that we would end this in the basement, but no, that's not how it works here at Haukke Manor. No, the basement comes second because the top floor is where this quest ends. So we shall partake of the contents of the Subterranea. The Subterra, I guess, would be a more specific term, with a more correct term. And we'll beat up the corpse flies here, which are the new opponents here for the basement. Of course, there are still bats. Even though they're called attic bats, for some reason they're appearing on the ground floor and also in the basement. I think proper renaming is in order. Oh boy, our new DPS is definitely taking a hit. And, okay, where did these new servitors come from? Well, they definitely came out of nowhere. I didn't even notice them. Yeah, we were killing off one, and suddenly, boom, out of nowhere, 2 more take its place. Crazy, respawning Manor servitors out of nowhere. And I don't know if you can notice this, but they're nothing more than bones, unlike the maidservants, which are actually skin and. So yeah, while they're finishing off the corpse fly, I'll get started on the second servitor here. Or in this case, it will be the third. Yeah, a lot of possessed dead bodies of various sorts here in Haukke Manor. Well, like I said, this is like a haunted house. And so now my avatar is up to officially level 33. Of course, he's synced to 31. I chose to take the stairs just so that you can see where they are. So we can't use the Carnation door yet. We have to go and take the detour. We gotta take the tour around the loop. Alright, it's targeting. Targeting this Manor Servitor on the left. Oh, and here comes the maidservants. Yeah, these guys are not afraid to stand within close proximity to each other and wreak a lot of havoc in the process. We definitely need to take that into consideration that these enemies are not afraid to come to each other when their allies are in danger. Yeah, they're positioned in just enough distance that they're just in the right spot that they can wreak havoc on you. So be careful where you stand. Because stay in the right spot and you will be regretting it. Alright, the servitor is dead, and I have this corpse fly past half health. And with my allies, we now finish the corpse fly off. And now, we have tiny keys. We can use them if we so desire to open up the various cells that are down here. Because, yeah, the basement is essentially like a jail. So if you were so willing, you can open up all these different doors. You can be willing to take the treasures. You can take the experience if you so desire. But you're not obligated to do so. Your main focus is to find the keys and to find your way out of here. And are we going to go in, or do we not need to? But by the looks of it, that's no. Alright. Which one are we going? Which one are we targeting? Guess it's this one. There are 3 in total. So let's go ahead and break some bones here. I've got broken bones, not by the sticks and stones, but by the names that you call me. Yeah, I said that with a little more soul than the way it's actually sung, because it's actually a Canadian dance track from about 17 years ago. Very popular on the radio back in the day, by a singer known as Love Inc. But her most popular song, or most well-known song, is actually entitled You're a Superstar. Very, very popular on dance radio stations, even all these years later. In fact, I used to have that song on my iPod until I inadvertently trashed it and wasn't even aware of it until it was too late. Yeah, last year I inadvertently trashed my iPod because I put it in a bag with some snacks that I had bought from a convenience store. And once I had eaten the snacks, because I was eating them all straight out of the bag, but I wasn't even aware that... Yeah, I did leave my iPod in there, but I completely forgot to take it out, and by the time I realized, it was too late. So yeah, now there are good treasures to be found. You can play greed on them if you want to. Wasn't able to get that one. Is there another one in there? Well, perhaps, but it doesn't look like we're gonna take any interest in it. Which door do we go into? Okay, I think I may have acted too hastily. Yeah, because I was following everyone else, but now it looks like... Yes. Yeah, I knew I was gonna go around and open the door anyway, so we gotta make a mad dash, loop around the entire room. Yes. Following everyone, thinking that they're going to completely bypass the treasures, but they decide, on second thought, let's go ahead and gamble and go for it. Oh, that was silly. Ready when you guys are. Or are we? What? Oh crap, and I've been targeted. Damn. Yeah, I get back, suddenly, boom, I'm the one who's getting targeted, not the tank. I guess we're gonna play for the contents anyway. Well, we actually have to because the yellow key is in here. We actually need said yellow key to advance. Yeah, I think everyone was wondering, where's the yellow key? Well, we know now. Ah, yes, this trip through Haukke Manor has just been a comedy of errors. And I don't know why Polska is risking getting dropped off on the other side. Not quite understanding that, but whatever. I think La Wii is missing in action. But yeah, we want the yellow key in here. This is what we came for. And it looks like it looks like our friend brought a friend. Okay, yeah, there he is. Or she is, I can't tell. Yeah, Lawi is bare-chested, so I'm going to assume that this is a guy. And if it's not, well, viewer discretion is advised, right? And the door is open, so yeah, we have a two-part opponent. And you want to kill the Jester first because it's easier to kill. And there's something that I have not done yet that I really should prior to our advance. Yeah, we want to target the Jester first because it's easier to defeat. And of course, when you see rings, that means Dark Mist, which means staying clear. And we still have two tiny keys, but obviously we're not going to bother using them. But that's okay, I don't mind. I mean, it's not like we're going to get that much out of this place left anyway. So all we have to do is just beat up the Jester and then we'll focus on the Steward. And too bad it's not a stewardess. And for some reason this steward was actually wearing a crown. I don't know if you caught that while it was running by. But the Jester is soon to be gone, and it is. Now, where'd the steward go? Well, he's right over there. Alright, let's get some. Yeah, if you can see it, it is wearing a crown. It might be a bit tricky to view, but I can assure you that this thing is wearing a crown. And there's something that I absolutely must do before we get started. Oh, it's using Soul Drain. I think that's MP extraction? I actually don't know because I don't think I've ever been on the receiving end of that attack. But we're doing well, nonetheless. And soon the Steward will be gone. Yeah, these things are relatively easy. It's not until we get to Lady Amandine at the end of this that the challenge really begins. Alright, we're done. Now, for what I wanted to do before, actions and traits, I want to go into Limit Break and set a hotbar. We'll set it right there. And as for the loot, we'll play green on that, and we got it. In fact, we got them both. Yeah, now you want to use Return to go back to start, because, yeah, there's no point in using anything else to get back up to the first floor. Yeah, you can walk out, it is possible, but everyone will just commonly use the Return ability. So, using the Bloody Parchment, you break a seal that allows you access to the top floor, because you couldn't get up here beforehand. So that's why the order is set the way it is. So now we want to attack the Manor Sentry. This is really the last enemy you have to fight because, yeah, the transition point between here and the boss is pretty brief. All you're going to do is just... you can't actually kill the Manor Sentry. All you can do is just weaken it to the point where it runs off. And when it does run off, that will trigger the start of the boss duel. So just let this thing do what it has to do, and once the life bar turns green, that will trigger the boss duel. So, the sentry will now fly into the bedroom of Lady Amandine. And that'll be her right there. Now a zombie. But a zombie that still seeks to have its beauty restored. Yeah. Eyes rolled in the back of her head. She is definitely out for blood. And will go to any length to have her beauty back. So we're all set and ready to go, so let's do this. Boss duel against the main boss of the Haukke Manor, Lady Amandine. So what we want to do, hit the limit break right away. And this will definitely set the lady back a bit. And so what you're going to want to do, she does have powerful magic, but if she's targeting the tank, you're okay. And you'll notice it says Void Lamps begin emitting an eerie glow, because she will summon reinforcements and it is up to you to eliminate them. So make it a point to do so whenever they show up. And be wary of the dark mists. And as you can see, we've already got her past half health. We're just burning through this. Okay, yeah, as you can see, Lady's Candle. This is where you start defeating the reinforcements. Because it'll start attacking everything else. Hold still, you stupid candle. Yeah, just get rid of it as quickly as you can. Preferably before it self-destructs. And when another shows up, do the same thing. Yeah, you should be fast enough that you can get rid of it no problem. But it's not the end of her reinforcements, unfortunately. There will be more. So just be careful. Yeah, because now here's where we really start seeing reinforcements come into play. The Handmaiden, the Manor Sentry that we fought before but couldn't defeat it before it was chased away. So at this point, have everyone except the tank go after the reinforcements. Ooh, our healer's in a bit of trouble. Kill the Handmaiden, thank you. Yes, we want to focus now on the Sentry, while the tank focuses on Lady Almondine. And too bad it's not Lady Almondine, because it reminds me of an episode of The Simpsons, the Thanksgiving special, where Patty and Selma bring in a dish called Shot Almondine. In fact, you need to kill off everything here, because as you can see, for a while, the lady wasn't taking any damage. So you're forced to kill off the reinforcements whenever they appear, so that you can once again resume the offense on Lady Almondine. But if you take care of all that before too long, the Lady of the Manor will soon be no more. And there it is. Victory is ours. Yeah, and even though we lost 2 of our party members, well, when we were in action, we got through this very quickly. So, that's our victory. So, what's left to acquire? Yeah, much appreciation, especially to the 2 reinforcements. In fact, I'll give recommendation to Dela because she was the only holdout. And apparently I get the treasure chest because no one else wanted it. Hey, I don't mind. Where's the exit? Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's recordings. We were able to successfully complete this challenge and bring ease to the mind of Ursendel, knowing that the Lady-in-Waiting will have to continue waiting for her lost beauty because she's now well and truly gone. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. And when I join you again, we will bring this murder mystery to a close once and for all by speaking with Ursendel and finding out where we have to go next in the main story. So until next time everyone, this is Matthew with Novora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.